Amazing. So that is who we'll be having on set today. So without further ado, let's just get started. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Yes, we are so happy to have you.
Thank you.
We're really, really excited. And the topic of today is one that people have been asking about, and we thought it's best to have you to cover it. Okay? So let's just start from the top. Emotional intelligence. So how would you define emotional intelligence in the aspect of marriage?
So emotional intelligence, because of the wideness of this topic, I decided to put something down because of it. So just allow me to go through it.
Okay.
So emotional intelligence refers to the ability to recognize, to understand, manage, and influence emotions, both in yourself and also others. It plays a very key role when it comes to personal and also professional relationships, but even far much more even in marriage. So it is the awareness of your emotions. Yes, in a particular environment. Yes.
You know, last week we had a conversation here and we had Pastor Benjamin talk about marriage being a heart matter. And when we talk about the heart, we talk about feelings as well. So how are you able to tame your emotions in marriage and not have outbursts? Especially for us ladies, kidogo hapo kwa emotions and controlling, tunakwanga tu all over the place. Whatever you feel, you just do at that particular moment irrationally. So how do you tame them?
I'll say that, first of all, my husband usually tells me that it's not, you don't go by what you feel at the particular moment. There is the bigger picture beyond what you're feeling, beyond what you're going through. Because at some point, even as ladies, when we are going through our menses and unasikia kama you feel like you don't want people, or you feel like you want to eat chocolate, or you want to take something, but you can be in control. That's when the place of when you are born again, you're filled with the Holy Spirit, you allow God to give you the fruit of the Holy Spirit, and that is self-control. That you are in control of your emotions. Your emotions are not controlling you. Because at the end of the day, unaweza pata, you may lose your work because you have, maybe umeweka emotions zako, umeacha ziku control. You are in control of them. So sometimes in marriage, unaweza sikia kama huyu jamaa amekubo, ama unasikia he's not doing what he is supposed to do to you. And it's just that particular moment. So I will not allow that emotion to break my marriage or to break our relationship. But I'll take control. There is a part that God has given us, and that is the place of will. God has given you will, and you can decide what to do. There is that ability. I believe when you're emotionally stable, you're not lunatic. Uyuko wazimu. Like a mad person, you cannot be able to, you're not in control. So a normal person and who is healthy emotionally must be someone who is able to control his emotion. And most of the time, even when you're going for a job interview, it is not just for a show. It's a thing of life. When you get angry, what do you do?
Exactly.
Do you hit the wall? Do you beat someone? And when they hear you can punch someone,
they're like,
So you must be a lady or a man who is able to control your emotions. So that one day you not beat your wife because unapata maybe hajapika chai ama hajafanya kenye anastahili kufanya. So you need to be, and when you find yourself you're not able to control your emotions, you need to seek a counseling, a psychology counseling, and again you need to pray. And as much as we usually say that you pray, that you'll be able to have that self-control. Because the Bible says that not by might, not by power, but by the Spirit of the living God, you are able to say no by His grace to every form of ungodliness. But there is that part, even after praying, unaweza saidiwa. Because if you find you are not able to control your emotions, it means there is a place where you have been umegrow. You have traumas. Ulionyeshangwa kupiga, ulikuwa unaonanga mama yako na baba yako wanapigana. So the way that your mother used to, alikuwa na push emotions zake ni kukuchapa. Like for instance me, when my aunt used to be so angry with me, alikuwa anakunywa hata chai kwa kikombe, chai moto. Alikuwa ananichapa nayo.
Why?
Yeah, she used to hit me with it.
Just anything in
so,
sight.
Imagine you are learning that, like when when I'm mad, I can take that cup and hit my child with it. So I found it's normal, and it's something that imegrow ndani yangu kama pattern. So you find it even if you go, you pray and ask God, there is that part of psychological, they come in and they help you to come, you being shown, onyeshwe, this was traumatic, this is not the way. Maybe even that person who hit you, maybe psychologically, akukuwa okay. So, and we need to identify. I was telling my husband the other time, you need to take responsibility of your failures in life. You need to take responsibility of how you are behaving and why you are behaving. You not become like a victim. You know, I usually behave this, you know, I'm so emotional.
It's normal for me.
It's normal for me. This is, I went through this. No, you're not supposed to stay like that. You need to take responsibility of your own emotions and say that, yes, mimi naweza kuwa niko single parent na nilipata watoto kwa with different men. And it is not that just man that made me go through this. Even me, I have a part that I played, that nilikubali pia kulala na hawa wanaume na nikapata hawa watoto wengi. So I take my responsibility. Apostle usually says that there's just accept, adjust, and advance. So there is a place of acceptance, and then you adjust. When you adjust, you won't take your emotions because you have 6 children and you're employed somewhere, or you are getting a man who wants to marry you. You bring your emotions and you start being, what do we say? Easy ma attitudes, wanasemanga, most ladies have it. Even men have attitudes. Those attitudes, unakuwa na ma mood swings, unasema, you know, the reason why I'm so with this attitude is because of the men that left me with these kids. And you know, you are closing the part of you taking responsibility of what you did. So you miss what God has given you, a new creation. You have become a new person, and there is another door God has opened for you. But because you have not taken responsibility, unasema, you know, mimi siwezi acha emotions. So you'll miss an opportunity even of getting employed because you are not in control of your own emotions. You lose a marriage that God had a purpose for it, for you to reach nations, or for you to become great and save other nations. Because you are there's something that you went through, you are not in control of your emotions. Even when you are in periods, as ladies in menstrual, you are in control of your emotions. No matter what is happening in my home, when I come to my workplace, I am in control of my emotions. Because this has happened, and you know, emotions, they are not there for an end. There are those moments in life, there is a place of utasikia uko jovial, and you need to be in control, even in the part of being happy. You need to be in control of, you huwezi enda extreme. Unakuwa too happy, mpaka watu wengine wanahitaji ukue serious kidogo. So mimi naweza sema, from a part of being emotions and you're not able to do, you need to take responsibility, personal responsibility of your own mistake and owning them up. And align yourself to the will of God. Not everything will be new, but there is what God, one of the things God taught me, despite what you have gone through and the pain you have experienced in life, there is that thing that Christ has taken hold of me. There is something at the end of the road. You know, despite feeling today in the morning, me and my husband, we are not okay. There is that purpose that God told me. I shall take you to the nations. You shall sing and people shall get healed. So, huyu mtu, tumekosana naye asubuhi, ni mtu wa Mungu, ni bwana yangu, nampenda. Haizi fanya nikose kufikia those nations. Watu wengi ambao Mungu ameweka mbele ni wapone. Na hii ndoa yetu ambayo Mungu akona makusudi makubwa, hawa watoto wetu wafanyike watu wakubwa. Hii kitu ya asubuhi imefanya tumekosana. Maybe may it be financially, my husband is not doing well, ama anakuja home late. Haitanifanya I sign for a divorce for just an emotion for few days na itaisha, ama few hours na itaisha. So we need to take that personal responsibility and looking ahead to that which Christ has taken hold of me. That is the most powerful thing that God ever did to me. Because most of the time, even when you go through a lot in at work, or you are going through a lot into even in your marriage, there is that which Christ did. He died for your sins. He went through the pain for you. And that pain is more valuable than the pain that you're going through right now. So the emotions will not, the negative emotions will not make me miss that which Christ has taken hold of me.
Wow. So you need to take full responsibility of your emotions and make sure that you tame them so that they don't affect a very, very important relationship, because marriage was sanctioned by God. Wow, that is amazing. And again, we said relationships are a heart matter. So how can you communicate your emotions without maybe overstepping? Yes.
I can say without overstepping, there is a time we were having, it is last Sunday, we were having an evening time with my husband, and we were talking about when you're asking a man to buy you a dress, asking a man, your husband, take me for an outing, and your husband is telling you, I'll take you, I'll take you. And there's another lady who was saying that man anakudanganya, and you know it is affecting your emotions every time anakuambia yes, yes, and he's not doing it.
It's not happening.
Yeah, so for you not to overstep, I was telling them, nilikuwa nawaongelesha nawaambia, there is a part of kukua maturity. You have to allow maturity in your life. There are things that are not the main things, the big things, and they are not a must at that particular moment. Unapata like you have a mukona goals, and maybe you are in courting. So your expectations, zifai kupita expectations za vile huyu jamaa ako. Unapata huyu jamaa unaangalia which kind of a phone anatumia, the kind of work he's doing. The family where he's coming from, wako wangapi, yeye ndio dada zake wamemtegemea. So there is a part of uta overstep, unasikia jamana unataka kupeleke maybe Amerika, ama unataka akupeleke Maldives, Santorini, you know. There's that part of being matured that even if this dude will tell you, yes, I'll take you, one day I'll take you, unafaa ukuwe very matured that you know, even if you, yani nimemkubali vile yako, and this is my husband. Hata nikimwambia ninunulie nguo ya 5,000 because nimeona someone else akona nguo ya 5,000 ya Turkey, ninajiuliza aje, we have our house rent to pay, we have our kids to take them to school, so I won't intimidate him by making him feel lower or making him feel down by telling him kama ni mboga tutashinda tumekula mboga kwa hii nyumba. You know, when you're just telling that, you're telling your man that question, it's a rhetorical question, ana answer ya kukujibu. Hii nyumba tutaishi tumekula sukuma, you know. Obviously you're overstepping on his emotion, and you're making him feel lesser. And you are killing his ego as a man, and his better place to become, and you are being unrealistic, not even of God. You are so selfish. That's when you are overstepping on this man. Very selfish, thinking that everything you need to receive it. And this is a son of someone. Huu ni kijana wa mtu, as much as he's your husband and he's big. Ungependa watoto wako, ati unasikia kijana wako anakosa sleepless nights. Ati bibi yake anasema lazima apelekwe Maldives, Santorini, and those things that are not real. So this is the point that I was telling them. You're not supposed to overstep. And sometimes even myself, I'm not better. God has been making me. Nilikuwa najipata, nina overstep. Namwambia, you see others are wearing well, you know, niko kwa TV, MBCI naimba worship team. Nahitaji kuvaa vizuri, you know. Unamwambia hivyo, and at some point nikaona I'm making my man, ninamuua. Unapata with time you're killing his ego as a man, and you're overstepping on him. I think he can say his part also.
Let's hear from you. And I'm talking like yeah, let's hear it from you as well.
You know, the matter we are discussing today is very, very, very important. And you see, I'm seeing it from the perspective of even what is happening in many marriages, and particularly some of the marriages that are ending even in deaths. Where, like the other day, I heard of a case where a man killed the wife, and the the children. And it fall on this basis of emotional intelligence.
Yeah, true.
That, you know, you cannot speak about emotional intelligence without speaking the place of self-awareness.
Yeah.
Because before you communicate of the emotion, you need to be aware that this is the emotion I have right now. That you are in touch with the feeling that you are feeling.
Yeah.
And you see, because of the African culture of how we have been brought from growing up, we are not really trained or mentored in the place of emotional intelligence, realizing our feelings, getting in touch with our feelings, particularly us as men, and even to the women as well, because of our African culture. So unasikia mtoto akilia, unaulizwa unalia nini? In fact, unachapwa juu ya kulia.
Yeah, sasa nyamaza.
Nyamaza. Na ukinyamaza tena unapigwa unanyamaza. So you see, it totally affects you. And it makes you, when it comes to your intelligence emotionally, you are very weak. So you are angry to a place that you can be able to kill someone, but you're not even aware.
Yeah.
And most times, these people come aware of their emotions. Well, they have also gone through the court system. They are now in jail. They realize, wow, kumbe nilikuwa nimekasirika to that extent. So it is good for us to train ourselves to be aware of our emotions.
Yeah.
To be aware that right now, and you see, when psychologically speaking, when we are speaking about emotions and feelings, we have been trained now growing up, our nature, that there is bad feelings and there is good feelings. Like when you are happy, you feel this is a good feeling. But when you are sad, you think it's a bad feeling. From a psychologically perspective, there is nothing like bad or good feeling. A feeling is a feeling.
Yeah.
And each and every feeling, there is something it communicates to you. When you are sad about something, there is something it communicates to you. When you are feeling depressed, there is something it is communicating to you. When you are anxious, there is something it is communicating to you. So majority of us, we are, sometimes we are anxious, but we do not know. So there is the place of self-awareness and no, I'm anxious at this particular point. I'm angry. I feel depressed at this particular season. So that is level number one. Level number two is coming to a point of understanding what is this feeling communicating to me. Because I'm angry, what am I supposed to do? And there is where emotional intelligence plays in. Because you see, when we speak about intelligence, we are speaking about I don't know, maybe a synonym to use for intelligence, but maybe brightness.
Yeah.
What are you going to do in intelligence about the emotion you are feeling? Because let's say, for example, something has happened maybe in the setup of your marriage. Things are not going well, and maybe your spouse is not maybe playing the role, and maybe you feel angry, you feel sad. So because I am angry for this particular thing, when we say emotional intelligence is what now to do with this emotion. Now, when even though the emotion is not negative, it is communicating something for you to be able to do. You may take in the place of intelligence to use the emotion, or rather what you do with the emotion now negatively. There is where, like the case we are saying, people burning their spouses with their children, and so many other things. So it is a point of knowing now what will I be able to do. Because like you see, marriages have challenges. And, you know, they normally say that marriage is not a bed of roses. But me, I normally say that marriage is a bed of roses because it has thorns. So
they will prick you.
Yes, they will prick you. There are times issues may arise. And in such a setup where maybe you may be pricked for one reason or the other, and there are emotions bubbling up, now you are supposed now to use your intelligence and decide, like, what am I going to do with these emotions I'm having? And positively you can decide, because there is something we call healthy separation. because badala muwane simuachane kwanza kwa muda, you'll be able to resolve your issues. There is also a place of sitting down as a couple, because when you speak about emotions and a place where maybe there are emotions that can trigger you to do something negatively, it means that you are in the point of a conflict in a way. So it means that you need to be first be able to have a conflict resolution model as a couple. There is a way, kuna vitu zenye tunafaa kukaa chini tujue mambo ikitokea hivi tutafaa kufanya haje. And always it begins by you sitting down and airing out your issues, because in the place of emotional intelligence is also the place of being able to communicate your emotions to the other person, to confide to the other person's emotion. Hey, me hapa na feel vibaya.
Just being real.
Being real with one another. So, and there is a point it reaches, because this is the reality of the matter, that you cannot be able to communicate the two of you and air the issue out pertaining whatsoever it's happening in the area of marriage. Because marriage indeed, it's under attack even in our generation right now. Even us, you see when the Bible says fight a good fight of faith, we are keeping on fighting the good fight of faith, because all round, maybe on media, like there is a show somewhere where they just taint marriages every morning and have quite a larger view. So it gives a perspective that is not of God, that can influence even godly people to realize there is nothing to hold on this. So I think the place of how you handle your emotions, I think that is what I wanted to pass across, is very key.
Wow.
The intelligence behind it.
That is very beautiful. I've loved what you've said, that marriage is indeed a bed of roses, but roses have thorns. So once in a while you'll be pricked, but that doesn't mean it's the end. And I remember something that was trending a couple of weeks back about the Gen Zs, the new generation that's headed for marriage right now. Walikuwa nasema vitu wanaogopa ni mbili tu, ni Mungu and marriage. So, and it's not supposed to be like that. But people are really glorifying it to a point whereby the young generation feels, by these marriages ni kama haziwork. So like, let me stay away from it and just do something else. But that is not how it's supposed to be, because it's God ordained. Like He orchestrated marriage. So we can't just blow it off to say me. Okay, so there's a question that we had asked the viewers today, whether it is okay for a man to be emotionally vulnerable. Now we're going to have our guest answer that, but before that, let's get the vox pops. Okay, we have some people that we had asked that question: is a man allowed to be emotionally vulnerable? So let's get to hear what they have to say, and then we'll be coming back to discuss that as we hear our guest's perspective on today's question.
Habari yako, unaitwa nani?
Salama, mimi naitwa Joseph Maina kutoka Kisii County.
Nikuulize, is a man allowed to be vulnerable?
Okay, a man is allowed to be vulnerable because ni njia moja yenye anaficha asili zake. Kama kwa mfano kitu imemuumiza, yeye apendi kuonyesha openly ya kwamba kitu kimemuumiza, sababu yeye ni mwanaume. Sasa ndio maana unapata wanaume wengi tunakupa kisiri sababu ya kuficha hiyo kitu ndani ya roho kuliko kusema nje hata tupate usaidizi.
Okay, are men allowed to be vulnerable?
Of course they are, because I don't believe men are that different from women. The society has a bad perception that mwanaume anafaa ngumu. We see men, God created us the same. There's no way ati mwanaume moyo wake ni different na the ladies. So yes, they shall be vulnerable.
Thank you. Are men allowed to be vulnerable?
Ideally or psychologically, I think yes, they should be allowed. But also when you look at the how the situation is or the environment that we live in, I feel like as much as maybe one should be, but it just doesn't matter. I feel like yes, you might be vulnerable, but at the end of the day, people look up to you as men. So I think maybe the societal setup does not allow for that so much.
Okay, asante. Are men allowed to be vulnerable?
I feel like yes, because okay, for society mara mingi, you know, men wanakuanga wamefanywa wakuwe ni kama you're supposed to be strong, you're supposed to be, you know, unapata mpaka some people are usually like ukiona machozi ya mwanaume ni kama machozi ya simba, something like that. So it is kind of difficult to see, but I feel like since, you know, society inaokaa sana kwa the male gender, I feel like they are supposed to actually even kama unezalia lia, I mean whatever you feel like, hata kama inakaa petty or lame for a man to be doing, but it's a idea to avoid a situation like that, the suicide way. I feel like, yeah, they are allowed to be vulnerable.
Okay, thank you. Okay, asante. Are men allowed to be vulnerable?
What I would like to say about the vulnerability of men, they are just human like any other person. So what I know is that it is the society that like victimizing people, especially men, but they are all human beings and they are very much allowed to be vulnerable because the situation at hand is very difficult for boy child, and that's why usually we are trying to front that issue of the vulnerability of a boy child, so that we can at least look for a solution about it.
Okay, thank you.
Amazing. So that is what people have to say on emotional vulnerability. Nimeshika hiyo ya machozi ya mwanaume ni kama machozi ya simba. Nadra sana kuonekana. So maybe before we get to your own personal comments, maybe we can comment on the people's opinion concerning emotional vulnerability. Is it a good picture that's out there, or bado kidogo kuna shida? We can start with you.
Okay. Answering the same?
Yeah, like is their perspective okay when it comes to a man being vulnerable, ama kidogo?
Yeah, their perspective is so okay. And as I was just sitting here and thinking about it,
yeah,
I'm coming from where my mom was burnt by a man in the house with my younger brother.
What?
So when we're speaking about this, I'm kind of, what do I say? I'm just sharing this scar that it really affects. And it's something that it's affecting our society because I've gone through it. My mom, that man who burnt my mom, ninaambiango nisikue victim sana. Pia my mom alikuwa na shida zake because kila mtu kwetu alikuwa amezaliwa na baba yake. My sister, mimi, I am a twin. Me and my sister, our father, my brother, the father, the younger kid who died was burnt with the man, with my mother. Pia yeye alikuwa na baba yake. So I usually saw that man so happy. He was not my father. Nilikuwa naona huyo jamaa ako so happy. Alikuwa anatuletea mkate. Na tulikuwa tunaambiwa tumuite baba. So I didn't know this man alikuwa na issues. Ungejua wako na shida. Even my mom was saying he's good. Kumbe that evening, that man is planning to burn my mom with the younger kid. And you couldn't trace or say. My sister was sleeping that evening. It was on Friday. I was only in class 2. I was 8 years or 7 years. That evening, my sister was sleeping kwa couch. Na my younger brother was outside. My mom was just, I don't know kama alikuwa anapika ama alikuwa wapi. My aunt was living in Nakuru. So tukasema, mom, kumbe that man had planned to kill all of us.
What?
Me, my sister, my brother, and alikuwa ameamua ataua watu wote. Huyo mtu alikuwa anaumia ndani. Na hakukuwa anasema. Na ungesema. Even that evening we ate so well that alikuwa anabeba kakatoto kadogo na si mtoto wake. But this man was so wounded inside. And that's why I don't want to be a victim. Sema alikuwa mbaya. Alichoma mama yangu. But I'm just saying there's that part of him pia alikuwa anaumia. And he was not able to talk. Na vile society inaonyesha that men are not supposed to show that wamehatiwa ama wamedidimishwa. Na inaonyesha wewe ni a weak man. So I believe that's what he was going through. And this happened to me when I went through counseling. Even for me to be now stable even in my marriage, that I had to accept and have to be in the shoe of that man who burnt my mom, and say that it is not just him but there is a, but I'm not sisemi ati kuchomana ni vizuri. I'm not advocating for that, but there is that part of him akukuwa na healing, alikuwa emotionally not stable. So that evening we went with my aunt and the younger brother, and sister yangu alikuwa kwa kiti. The younger brother wanted to go with us, but the man alimkatalia. Unasema huyu jamaa anapenda aka katoto na hata si kake, si akae tu na huyu mtoto. Little did we know that Saturday morning saa 9 tulisikia manduru kutoka nje. Niliona mama anawaka moto all over na anabeba, it was like I was dreaming. Anabeba pillow kwa mkono. Looking at her, my bigger brother was asking her, are you mom? Huyu ni wewe mom? Umechomeka unakaa hivi. And mom was saying, it's me. And she was saying, like, I have died like a dog. That man has burned us in the house. Na alikuwa amemfunga. I think, you know, my mom was not born again. So alikuwa amekunywa pombe na akafungwa kwa kitanda na huyo mwanaume. And so you can imagine even how the baby alichomeka moshi. Because ukienda, wakati tulienda kwa hiyo nyumba tulipata mtoto amechomekea kwa kiti. Amehang hivi. So you can imagine how wicked was that man, seeing the baby burning to that point. And my mother burning to that point. Tunaona nyama zote mpaka the breast imechomeka, imeteremka kwa kiuno. Amechomeka, meno zimejaa, those things. And it was a part of a man that he didn't get the healing. He didn't get the, and I can say, it is not about my story. It is just connecting it. It is something that I went through. The emotion part that I can see that man was not stable emotionally. And it comes from a point of even us, the way we are being brought up. Venye tumeleleka. And it is not an excuse because umeleleka na maisha kama vile mimi nilileleka. I have a part that I can make myself, my life to be better. That I can be in control of my emotions and become a better version than what the version that my mother went through or my father went through. There is the better version of me that can come out and I can give my children. And let me tell you, bad situations like getting a father who was not emotionally stable, you can take it, you can become better or worse than your father. Nilijiambia, my children won't go through the same thing. Because you see, even after my mom died, now we are coming to my aunt. Pia yeye yuko emotionally stable. Bado akona some wounds, aja heal from his past. Wameleleka maisha ya umasikini, maisha ya kungangana. So hata yeye personally, ayuko emotionally stable kuwalea. So hakuna mtu mwenye amewalea vizuri. Like in a place that you are allowed to show yourself, you are allowed to show your emotions. You're not happy about a certain dress. You're not happy. Like me, remember, I'll just become vulnerable here. We used to be forced to sleep naked, and I was just a teenager. They were denying that part of my emotion growing and becoming. You know, I'm a young girl. You can imagine when you are a young girl growing up as a teenager. Ndio unaanza ku grow your breasts. Unaanza ku have menstruation. Unaanza ku grow some adolescent stages. So kuna venye utapenda kujificha. So imagine before my younger cousins, we were 7 of us. Ulikuwa unalala mmoja hii side, mwingine ile side, mnashika blanketi na mnalala kwa gunia. The part that I was denied to express myself and to hide my teenagehood, like I was denied. And you find at a particular time, even in life, when you umegrow, umekuwa mkubwa, unapata when even someone tells you to do something that is not good, but because unaogopa atakufanyia kitu mbaya, you are not emotionally stable. You'll find yourself, you'll have to uwezi sema no, uwezi sema yes, ulikuwa distracted so much. Now that's what the enemy really loves. That's what the devil really loves. When the enemy knows when you are growing up, emotions zako zimekuwa, he just messes up with your future. So I remember nilikuwa unaambiwa ulale bila nguo. Before nikubali umelia, umechapwa, and you're sleeping with other, because we were just two, me and my sister. All others were men. And we were sleeping in one room, almost the 10 of us, just a room. You know those plots. So shamed. Your cousins are, you don't have someone who is telling you that, you know, you are growing, your breast, don't feel shy, or nobody cares, because even them, they are not okay. So
Everyone
they
is
don't
going
know
through
what is
something.
right. They were never taught those things. And I became intentional when raising up my kids. Na nikajiambia, I will be the best. I will give them the best. It doesn't matter how I came up, but I have a position that sitasema because nililelewa vibaya, I'll try my best and be stable for them.
Wow.
And that took also counseling, because I went through counseling. Unajua utajiuliza how, because kuna mahali inaitwa the unconscious part. Unajipatanga umefanya kitu na hata
You're not aware of.
you're not aware what you're doing. Like, for instance, my husband usually tell me, don't shout at the baby. Sometimes you don't have to shout at them.
Yeah, they can hear
You need to take care of how you speak. Hata kama unasikia uko angry. And let me tell you, at a point nilishautia my son, aliniogopa. The baby went and, you know, and I'm saying to myself, I didn't know, I didn't plan to shout to the baby. And sometimes that happens when you're tired. Ama ulizoea kuambiwa hivyo. So, but there is a place of reforming and getting to become a better version.
Wow.
Yes.
That is amazing. Let's get it from you, Mr. Ndiki, as well.
Yeah, maybe few things I'm picking even from our story is the point that I first mentioned, that you need to be aware of your emotions and take care of them positively. And maybe to echo it again, because like on our case, I believe the story behind is that the man suspected, or the man was aware that
the wife was still cheating.
Yes.
She was having
an affair. So he could have decided, like what we are saying about healthy separation, that there is infidelity in this marriage, and we need to resolve it at the end of the day. And part of it, because of how I am emotionally, I cannot be able to do it here. There is the place of now the healthy separation, work things out, work yourself out, process whatsoever is going on, because you see, if I am not stable enough, my marriage cannot be stable.
Very true.
And I cannot try to make her to be stable if I'm not stable as well. So I need to be aware that first I'm not stable, I need to work myself out so that I can be able to help her, and now we can be able to help one another. And then number two, I think marriage, not marriage, but rather parenthood contribute a lot when it comes to emotional intelligence and stability, because these are things that you are nurtured. Like if you are denied to express yourself, you get to understand that no matter what I'm feeling, I don't have a room to be able to express it. And you see, when you see like what we were saying during the break, like the case Sylvia was sharing with us, like mtoto alichukua tu mahindi ya shosho anamuua juu ya mahindi tu, so you get to find, si kwa sababu ya hiyo mahindi, there is always an underlying issue. And that is why I was saying, getting to know what is the feeling communicating to you, and you get to understand sometimes there is more, and also the place of you being denied to express yourself, so you have a lot of pile up of emotions. So when you act, or rather react, you're just exploding because of many issues. In fact, in the setup of marriage where you get people fighting, there is violence, you get to understand at that particular moment that it is not because of what has happened there and then, because unaweza sikia mtu anasema hii chai umeniletea na kikombe gani, kidogo amemrukia, kidogo amemchapa, na mambo mengine imefanyika, lakini si hiyo kikombe. There is more. And you see, in the place of emotional now intelligence is being able to regulate your emotions, because we are multifaceted. When you are a husband, you are still a father. When you are a father, you are still an employed somewhere. And there are many things that you get hold of. So unapata mtu hata hasira sio yako, lakini juu ana control yake anaileta nyumbani. So issues za HR umepelekea mzee home. And unapata mambo mengine mengi nazalika from out of that. So I believe the key thing is that we need to work ourselves out on this matter critically, and taking even this discussion with a lot of seriousness. And particularly even those who are not really particular or rather really in marriage, or they can be courting, dating. I think this is something to look out when you're even in the process of courtship. Get to understand the emotional intelligence of this man or this lady. Akikasirika ni nini wanafanya, so that not for you maybe to be able to separate or call it a red flag. Some of it can be a total red flag. But you can bring it up to discussion and say, I've realized that the moment we don't agree on something, you ghost me. You know, there are people you don't see them, you have disagreed. Like me, I'm thinking we need to do this and this, and the other partner says, no, I think we need to do this and this. Unaona huyo mtu 1 week. Kwanza na kublock everywhere.
You can't even access.
You cannot be able to access her. So you come to realize, this bring it out, communicate the matter out, because part of the emotional intelligence is be able to communicate your feelings and also your observations. That I have observed, when we do not agree on something, you ghost me, you block me. What's up? Do you think it's something that you really need to check it out? Because you come to realize that this person will also ghost me in marriage. These are the people who pack their bags and go every weekend, and when you come to realize ati uliniambia hiyo chakula yangu niliweka chumvi mingi, mimi nikaamua nirudi kwetu. Ujipikiage wewe unajua sana kupika.
And I'll also add, at some point, as I've heard you speaking about the part of kuna kitu inaitwa peer pride. You need to check if you are prideful. You know, sometimes when you're too prideful, utakangi kuambiwa kitu. Wewe uambiangu kitu, upendi criticism. There is this father of mine, a spiritual father, alikuwa ananiambia, Lillian, always embrace criticism. When you embrace criticism, it will help you to become a better version of yourself. Because the moment utapata mtu mwenye tu anakudanganya pia, place utafika mahali upate mtu anakuambia ukweli. You know?
Tuna upendi.
Tuna upendi ama, nilikuwa naambia my husband asubuhi, nilikuwa na watchingi American Idol, ama hizi zenye watu wanaendanga ku-compete. Unapata familia wanakupuff up. They're telling you are the best.
You're awesome.
You are singing well. There is that part also. Unaweza chocha mtoto. Na unajua tu kweli mtoto si hivyo. So unapata familia mzima, when the judges are saying, you are not confident.
You cannot sing.
The singing is not you. But the family is saying, no. And they're still lying to this lady. They're still lying to him. So there is that part of allowing criticism that will make you not to be emotionally unstable. Because criticism, take it positively. Every time you see people fighting you, telling you things, it is not just fighting you. It helps you to grow and become better. Anyone mwenye ameinuka sana na apati watu wa kumkosoa, that person becomes like what do I say?
The born for downfall. Really.
Nani dictator. Anakuwa dictator because like everything tutasema tu ni mzuri kwa sababu unajua wewe ndio
boss.
We fear you, you are the only person, but huwezi penda kukosolewa. Everything you usually do, it's the best.
It's good in your eyes.
We look it at this other side also.
So
that we may not looking at just the bad part that wewe tu unaambianga wewe si mzuri ama you're not able to express yourself. There is that part also. You need to be humble. You need to be humble so that wakati unaambiwa mambo ama unapitia hizi emotions venye anasema unajisikiza. Unasikia kama nimekasirika. Sometimes it's because you are too prideful. Huwezi ambiwa kitu. You are too puffed up. Unajisikiliza, unajiuliza, manze. And be real to yourself. Having that personal meditation. Unajiambia ukweli, kama ni mimi ningekuwa hule, nimeambiwa hivi. What am I supposed to do? Na kwa nini yeye anaona kenye ninafanya si mzuri? Kwa nini maisha yangu iendi vizuri na ndio maana nasikia nimekasirika? kwa nini mimi ndio nina feel mzee wangu anakaa anaweza ni cheat? Kwa nini mimi tu, ama niko na getting back. I have my own insecurities because of what I went through. And I should be so real to myself. Ndo isikue tu ati, you know, I'm not emotionally stable, I need counseling. Counseling will not help you if also you personally, you're not becoming real with yourself. Having that place of allowing, I usually say being vulnerable. And last time even when I was there, I said that. Being vulnerable before God and before yourself. Don't lie to yourself. You want the best version of yourself. Be real and say, hey manze, huyu ameniambia siimbagi vizuri, naimbaga, nikiimba backup, naimbaga kama mwenye nina lead, na niko backup. And you can it be true? Can I go and listen and work on it? Or saying, wa napigwa vita, huyu anitakiagi. Unajua, people usually tell me I have a big voice. I sing so well. Or people usually tell me I'm the best husband, I provide for my family, napelekanga paper bag kila siku jioni ya shopping. But this wife is not appreciative. But look back. Why is this person being hurt? By how I behave. What is it am I supposed to do better? Kwa nini mimi nasikia vibaya venye unafanya, lakini watu wengine unasema wanasikia vizuri venye unafanya? You need to sit down and be real and tell yourself, as much as I'm feeling I'm not emotionally stable and I'm not well emotionally, am I really good? Ata kwa job, am I really good? That part of becoming humble and allowing criticism, taking it as positive. Like in the book of Nehemiah, Nehemiah took the criticism of Sanballat and Tobias. And that's when he fought with alipigana na silaha na alijenga. And they made the best wall because of criticism. Going back to David, David became vulnerable before the children of Israel. When they came, na wakapata wamepigana, wamechukua bibi zao na mifugo vyao. And they wanted to stone him. You see the emotion part of it. And God is showing us the part that they wanted to stone. And David rushed back to God. And he prayed and he cried before them. And they inquired from the Lord.
Do I follow?
So even as a leader, even as a person, you need to, ukiona umekuwa overwhelmed, you need to humble yourself and go back to God. Because I hear the prayer of David telling God, should I pursue? Anauliza Mungu, I feel in me like alikuwa anauliza Mungu, am I okay? Did we do the right thing? Usemi mimi ni leader, amoni hata tumetoka vita, amoni nilikuwa na nyinyi. That is a place of humility and humbling yourself and allowing God to tell you, is this okay? And allowing them to express themselves. David didn't turn back to those soldiers that he was with. He didn't turn to them and tell them, you know, nyinyi si watu wazuri, ama msinipigie kelele, ama nitawakatakata wote. Unajua mimi ndo mfalme, nimemwagiwa mafuta. No. David humbled and allowed them to express themselves. And he went and asked God and inquired from God that, God, should I pursue? Hao watu wamekusanyika na wanani nini. So another part is when Shimei was throwing, alikuwa anamwagia Daudi mchanga na akimkasi. Akimwambia hata wewe ndio uliua bibi ya, umekuwa ukiua watu, umeua Uriah, umechukua the wife, you are not a good king, that's why your son Absalom wants to take over the kingdom. And someone asked David, why are you allowing this person to kukutukana na wewe ni anointed of God? And David said, allow him. Maybe it is God using him. That is a part of humility. So we must be humble enough, even when we are emotionally, and get back and being real with ourselves. And ask ourselves, why are people behaving this way? Why am I being treated this way with my husband? Maybe there's something that I need to humble and come down and ask him, why are you feeling that? Na mimi nasikia niko sawa. Unasikia uko sawa because uko na kiburi. Because umekataa. And that's what I think I can add on.
Wow. Okay. Amazing. So maybe we can ask you the question on, is it okay for men to be vulnerable in your case? Is it okay for a man to cry?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
It's okay to express yourselves. Yes.
But also do it in the right way.
Intelligently.
Wow, amazing. So unfortunately, guys, we are running out of time, and we are about to call it a wrap. But before we do that, maybe we can each have a minute to give a parting shot, and also please invite us to an event that will be happening on Sunday. So yes, go for it.
Okay, the parting shot of this is that we need to be careful with our emotion. It can cost us big time. It can close doors for us. So the main thing that need to add up on is just humble. Just humble and allow criticism. Criticism will not take what God has said concerning you. God will never change. God never changed what he said about Nehemiah, despite people saying that even a fox can run over the wall and make the wall fall down. And that's what I can say. Just humble and just allow criticism. And I would love to invite you for my first album launch. I've never done music. This is my first time. And I've just been leading worship in church. I will invite you on Sunday here at Faith Chapel. Itakuwa saa 9 ya jioni. Mkuje for an encounter. These songs are songs that I received from God. And I believe your life will never be the same again. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel at Lillian Ndiki. On YouTube, Lillian Ndiki. Facebook, Lillian Ndiki. And also on TikTok, Lillian Ndiki. Subscribe. Thank you so much. Yes.
Wow, amazing. I hope you guys are going to show up for that. Let's have Mr. Ndiki. You can give your parting shot and also tell us about the book and where people can get it.
Thank you. So I think my parting shot could be taking responsibility of your own emotions. And also have empathy. Consider other people's emotion. Don't be too selfish that this is what I'm feeling. Get also to a point of understanding what other people are feeling as well. So about the book, it's called Sex Denial in Marriage. It also mentions a bit on emotional intelligence. And I believe it can be able to be a blessing to those who are already in marriage and those who are walking in that journey, or rather in the premarital process. So the book can be found, we deliver countrywide, and it is also in a Kingdom Seekers gift shop, Ereto bookshop, Heaven's Gate Prayer Mountain, and maybe I can be able to share my number?
Yes, you
so can. My number is 0731 557032. So 0731 557032. So you can be able to call, text, WhatsApp, and maybe the book will be delivered to you any place. Yes.
Wow, that is very, very amazing. There's some people who are giving their thanks. Kuna Mariche John anasema good morning, Sylvia, Bwana asifiwe. Say hi to that amazing couple, and we are really learning. On a man being emotionally vulnerable, I think it's a matter of yes and no. Yes, because at the end of the day, we are also human beings and also go through all types of emotions. And no, because as a man, you represent the authority dimension of God in dominion and in a family setup where we are the source of security, protection, and direction. And then we have Mary Paula Nasama, Nico tuned in. I've really loved the conversation. May God bless this couple. Wow. Amen. Thank you so much for taking your time off your busy schedules to be here. You have really shed light on so many things. And I'm pretty sure watu pale nyumbani wameweza pick so many things that they're going to implement. Hata wenye bado hawajafika kwa marriage. Remember, you can also check on emotional intelligence even when you're still in that courtship era before you get to marriage. So yes, thank you so much. May God bless you. Amen. Amazing. So let us get the relation tips, and then we'll be coming back so that we can wind up the show. Yes, so just relation tips.